In the late 1970s, nearly 90% of China's population was living in poverty. In 2016, that number was less than 2%. Lifting more than 850 million people out of poverty in less than 50 years is an unprecedented feat. So how did China do it, and at the same time become the world's second largest economy? Hello there, my name is Jeenaev, and welcome to JNWN. In JNWN, we share news from all around the world. What kind of news? Business, financial, and economic news. In this episode, we're going to be discussing the rise of China and how it became an economic superpower. Let's get started. Between 1945 and 1949, or just after World War II, the Republic of China was in a state of turmoil. Civil war had broken out between the Chinese Nationalist Party, which was the ruling party, and the Chinese Communist Party. The Civil War had been ongoing from 1927 to 1949. However, the Japanese occupation of China and Southeast Asia had put the Civil War on hold during the years of World War II. During the final stages of the Civil War from 1945 to 1949, after World War II, the Chinese Communist government was finally able to overthrow the Nationalist Party, and Mao Zedong, the chairman of the Chinese Communist Party, declared the founding of the People's Republic in China in place of the Republic of China. Meanwhile, having lost its power over the central government and land, the Nationalist Party fled mainland China to an island they still had military control over and set up the Republic of China in what many today call Taiwan, though that's a different episode. Meanwhile, back in the newly founded People's Republic of China, Mao Zedong established a one-party communist state where he promised to work for the people and improve their lives. During Chairman Mao Zedong's rule, mass starvation and the subsequent Cultural Revolution in China led to the premature deaths of what is estimated to be nearly 50 million people. During this period, the Western powers and the Asian tigers, one of them being Singapore, experienced rapid industrialization and substantial economic growth in their capitalist free market economies. On December 18, 1978, Deng Xiaoping was chosen by the Chinese Communist Party to be the paramount leader after the death of Chairman Mao Zedong. Looking at other countries' economic success compared to China, now paramount leader Deng Xiaoping decided to hold a government leadership meeting where he proposed economic reforms focused on opening China up to the world. These economic reforms would end up changing China forever. The first stage of the reforms began with the farmers of China. The government convinced farmers to sign agreements dividing what was once communally owned farmland into individually owned farms. The central government also started incentives in terms of product ownership and prices for farmers, allowing farmers to start selling their produce and crops on the market. This was a significant shift from the once centralized planned communist economic system China had. But Deng Xiaoping's most significant idea of economic reform, and the one that had the most important consequences, was opening China up to globalization. Since current policies weren't working, he decided to designate 4 cities alongside the coast of China, including at the time a small fishing village called Shenzhen, as special economic zones, or SEZs. The goal was to see if the 4 SEZs would boost exports, foreign investments, and increase trade. What happened next is arguably one of the most staggering economic miracles ever to take place in history. The average income per person in Shenzhen skyrocketed from around $100 in 1980 to over $30,000 last year. The once small fishing village became one of the 25 largest cities in the world. The success of the 4 SEZs led the Chinese government to designate more SEZs, resulting in exponentially more trade and economic growth for China. It was actually a visit to Singapore that he made early on in his term that inspired paramount leader Deng Xiaoping's ideas and economic reform goals. That's right, Singapore. He saw a country that had adopted free market principles, a country he had visited nearly 60 years ago and seen in shambles, which was at the time of his visit and still is economically thriving. To this day, Singapore is the only country the top political Chinese leaders have publicly identified as a learning model. China is currently the second largest economy in the world, but the Center for Economics and Business Research estimates that by 2028, it will overtake the United States to become the world's largest economy. What happened in China is a miracle. By embracing free market capitalist policies and globalism, China has enjoyed substantial economic progress, raised living standards, and rejuvenated its citizens' quality of life. However, it is worth noting that this adoption of free market policies indirectly led to a significant increase of greenhouse gas emissions in China. But in regards to its economic status of its citizens and its economy, ever since China embraced a transformation that was rapidly spreading across the world around them, its citizens have economically prospered compared to before Deng Xiaoping, and its national economy has significantly boomed on the global stage. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please feel free to click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. If you have any questions or video suggestions, do feel free to comment down below. See you next video.